take a deep breath and let the world around you fade away. In this moment, there is no rush, no need to strive. There is only you, here and now, in the stillness. This is where true transformation begins, not in the noise of the world, but in the silence that lies within. Let yourself sink into this space, free from distractions, open to the possibility of focus and clarity. As you listen, let go of the pressures and expectations that weigh on your heart. This journey is not about doing more, but about embracing the power of doing less, and doing it with purpose. The one thing that will bring you true growth is not scattered across 1,000 actions, but hidden in the quiet space of your attention, focused on what truly matters. In this moment, allow yourself to feel that truth. The path ahead will not ask you to hurry, but to be present. It will not demand perfection, but will invite you to embrace simplicity. Here, you do not need to force your way forward. All that is needed is your presence, your attention, and your trust in the power of focus. As you listen, let the stillness guide you, letting go of what is unnecessary and bringing your energy to the one thing that will make everything else easier or unnecessary. You are now at the threshold of something profound, a journey that does not move faster, but deeper, a path that will lead you to discover the power of focus and the quiet strength that resides within you. This is the beginning, not of a race, but of an unfolding. Welcome to this moment of transformation, where simplicity becomes the key to your deepest desires. The power of focus, the essence of focus in a world where everything competes for your attention. There is one truth that remains unshaken. Focus is the key to transformation. Imagine the sun at its peak, its light unwavering and constant. This is the power of focus, a simple, single point of attention that cuts through the chaos, creating clarity amidst the noise. Focus is not about doing more. It is about doing less, but doing it with purpose, with intention, and with your full presence. Think of a river that carves its way through the rock. It doesn't need to rush. It doesn't force its path. It simply focuses on its course, flowing gently but steadily. Over time, it creates an impact, shaping the world around it. This is how focus works in your life. It's not the speed of your actions, but the direction in which you direct your energy that determines your growth. Consider the seed resting quietly in the soil. It does not struggle or overextend itself, yet it grows, slowly, surely, steadily, reaching toward the light. Its growth is not a frantic search, but a focused push toward the one thing it needs to thrive. It doesn't waste energy trying to be something else. It doesn't compare itself to other seeds. It simply does the one thing that'll make it bloom. It focuses on growth, and so must you. To live a life of meaning and purpose, you need to focus on the one thing that matters most to you. When you do this, everything else will naturally fade into the background. The distractions of the world will no longer pull you away from what truly brings you joy, fulfillment, and success. Instead, you will be guided by a singular, unwavering focus. In this world, it's easy to get lost in the noise, the to-do lists, the expectations, the constant busyness. But real change, real transformation, comes from the opposite. It comes from the quiet, the focused intention. It is not in the hustle, but in the stillness that you find your power. Focus isn't about making things happen through sheer willpower. It's not about forcing yourself into success. Instead, it's about aligning with your truest desire and letting everything else fall away. When you focus on that one thing, everything else becomes secondary. You begin to see clearly, to act with purpose, and to move toward your goal with confidence and clarity. The key to focus is simplicity. In a world filled with distractions, the most powerful tool you can wield is the ability to say no to everything that isn't aligned with your one true purpose. The more you clear away the noise, the more powerful your focus becomes. Your energy, once scattered in many directions, is now concentrated on the one thing that brings you closer to your highest potential. When you focus, you create a sense of alignment within yourself. Your mind, your heart, and your actions come into harmony. There is no longer a struggle to juggle multiple demands. Instead, you align your energy with your deepest purpose, allowing everything you do to serve that one goal. And when you do this, the universe begins to support you. Opportunities arise, doors open, and your path becomes clearer. But focus requires patience. It requires you to trust that the one thing you are focusing on is enough. It's easy to think that you must do everything, try everything, pursue everything at once. But this is a trap. Real power comes from the ability to choose the one thing that matters most, and to give it your full attention. In the quiet space of focus, you will find your clarity. You will know what matters and what doesn't. You will see where your energy should be directed, and you will feel the weight of unnecessary distractions begin to lift. Focus is a practice, not a one-time event. It requires consistency. But with each step you take, with each moment of attention you give to what truly matters, your focus grows stronger, your path becomes clearer, and your life begins to transform. So, ask yourself, what is the one thing that will make everything else easier or unnecessary? This is not a question of what you think you should do. It's a question of what feels right to you, what resonates deeply with your heart and soul. It is in this quiet, focused alignment that you will find your true power. Focusing your energy. Now that we've explored the essence of focus, it's time to turn our attention to the power of focusing your energy. Imagine for a moment the vast ocean, immense and filled with potential. When its waters are scattered, they are uncontainable, lost in the vastness. But when the waters are channeled, they flow with purpose and strength, carving paths, powering mills, and nourishing life. Just as the ocean finds its power through direction, so does your energy. Your energy, like that ocean, has infinite potential. Yet, without focus, it becomes diluted, lost in the constant pull of distractions. When you focus, however, you direct your energy in one direction. You narrow your attention, and in doing so, your energy grows exponentially more powerful. This is where the real transformation happens. When you take your scattered attention and direct it toward the one thing that truly matters. By focusing your energy on this singular goal, you begin to harness the power of your own potential. It's not about working harder or longer. It's about working smarter, with all your focus and energy aligned toward the one thing that will bring you closer to your highest self. The world will try to pull you in many directions. It will tell you that you must juggle multiple tasks, wear many hats, and be everywhere at once. But true success and fulfillment don't come from chasing everything. They come from simplifying, from narrowing your focus, and from focusing your energy on the one thing that will move you forward. You have the ability to choose. In every moment, you have the power to decide where to direct your energy. But the question remains, what is the one thing that will make everything else easier or unnecessary? This is the choice you must make. When you direct your energy toward one thing, it doesn't mean that you are ignoring everything else. Rather, it means that you are giving priority to what truly matters. Everything else becomes secondary, because the one thing you focus on has the power to move you forward in ways that will make the distractions fade away naturally. Focus is about trust. Trusting that the one thing you choose to focus on is enough. Trusting that by giving it your full attention, you will see the ripple effect in all areas of your life. Trusting that, by doing less, you are actually doing more. You are aligning yourself with your true purpose and taking deliberate steps toward your desired outcome. As you listen to this, take a moment to consider where your energy is currently being directed. Is it scattered across too many things? Are you being pulled in countless directions with no real sense of clarity? If so, it is time to refocus. It is time to realign your energy with the one thing that matters most to you. Once you've identified that one thing, commit to it fully. Let it guide your actions, your decisions, and your intentions. Your focus becomes your compass, pointing you toward what is most important, helping you prioritize, and clearing the way for everything else to naturally fall into place. In the act of focusing, you are choosing simplicity. You are choosing peace over chaos. You are choosing clarity over confusion. And as you continue this practice, you will begin to see that the one thing you focus on will not only move you closer to your goal, but will also bring more balance and peace into your life. Remember, the key to powerful focus is not in adding more tasks or striving harder. It is in the simplicity of doing less, but doing it with full attention. It's in releasing the urge to chase everything at once, and instead, focusing on the one thing that will bring about the greatest change in your life. Chapter 2. The Lies That Limit Your Focus, the Illusion of Multitasking in Today's Fast-Paced World. We are constantly bombarded with the idea that multitasking is the key to success. It's celebrated as a mark of productivity, efficiency, and effectiveness. We're often told that the more we can juggle at once, the more we can accomplish. But what if this belief is not only misguided, but actively undermining our ability to achieve real progress? Multitasking is one of the most pervasive myths of modern life. It tells us that we can handle several things at once, and that doing so makes us more efficient. But this belief ignores a fundamental truth about human nature. Our brains are not designed to focus on multiple things simultaneously. While we may think we're doing more by multitasking, in reality, we're simply dividing our attention. And when we divide our attention, we dilute the quality of our work, leaving us less effective in every task we undertake. Research consistently shows that multitasking reduces productivity and increases errors. When we try to juggle multiple tasks at once, our brains have to switch back and forth between them, which requires energy and time. This constant shifting leads to a decrease in cognitive efficiency. In fact, studies have shown that when we switch between tasks, it can take up to 25 minutes to fully refocus on a task after an interruption. The result? We end up spending more time on tasks that could have been completed faster and with more attention if we had focused on them individually. Think about it. When you're trying to focus on an important task but keep getting interrupted by emails, phone calls, or social media notifications, how effective are you at getting your work done? Chances are, the quality of your work suffers, and you feel drained and frustrated. This is the hidden cost of multitasking. It takes up more mental energy and time than it saves. Now, consider a different scenario. Imagine focusing entirely on one task for a set period of time. With your full attention, you can dive deep into the work, giving it your best effort. The result? Not only do you complete the task faster, but the quality of your work is higher, and you feel a greater sense of satisfaction. This is the power of focus. It allows you to pour your energy into one thing at a time, moving you forward with purpose and efficiency. In nature, we see the power of focus reflected in the simplest forms of life. Take a flower, for example. It doesn't try to bloom by focusing on everything around it. It simply grows toward the light, focusing all its energy on what it needs to thrive. It doesn't divide its attention between multiple sources of energy. It draws strength from one steady source. This simple yet powerful act of focusing on the one thing it needs, sunlight, is what allows it to grow. Just as the flower doesn't split its focus, neither should you. Focusing on one task at a time allows you to harness the full power of your energy and attention. When you are fully immersed in a single task, you can give it the time and mental resources it deserves. This is where true productivity lies, in the depth of focus, not in the quantity of tasks. One of the keys to breaking free from the illusion of multitasking is to recognize it for what it is, a distraction from meaningful work. Each time you switch from one task to another, you lose the momentum you've built. Instead of making progress, you find yourself constantly starting over, never getting into a productive flow. The truth is, multitasking doesn't give you more freedom, it just spreads you thinner, leaving you with less time and energy for the things that matter most. To begin shifting away from multitasking, start by setting clear priorities. Identify the one task that will make the most impact and focus all your energy on it until it's completed. Once you've done this, move on to the next task. By giving your full attention to one thing at a time, you will accomplish more with less effort and feel more satisfied with the results. The myth of the urgent. There's another myth that continuously threatens to divert our focus, and it's the myth of urgency. The world constantly tells us that everything is urgent, that every email, text message, and phone call requires immediate attention. We are led to believe that success depends on our ability to react quickly to the demands placed upon us. But this belief is a trap. The myth of urgency is one of the most insidious lies that steals our focus and distracts us from what truly matters. Urgency is not the same as importance. Just because something demands your attention immediately doesn't mean it's the most important task for you to focus on. In fact, the urgency of a task often has nothing to do with its actual significance in your life. The world is filled with urgent distractions, calls, messages, meetings, all of which demand your time and attention. But if you give in to every urgent request, you will never make progress on the one thing that truly matters. Consider the way the world operates today. We live in a culture of immediacy, where everyone expects fast responses and quick results. This urgency permeates every aspect of our lives, pushing us to react before we've had time to reflect. We feel the pressure to respond immediately, to emails, answer calls right away, and solve problems as they arise. This rush to react creates a cycle of constant distraction, preventing us from focusing on the things that matter most. Urgency is a trap because it forces us to react to other people's priorities rather than our own. It pushes us to be constantly on alert, constantly busy, but never truly present. When we live in a state of constant urgency, we miss the opportunity to pause and think. We lose our ability to choose what is truly important. We begin to think that everything is urgent, when in reality, only a few things are truly worth our immediate attention. The key to breaking free from the myth of urgency is to cultivate the practice of mindfulness and intentionality. When you make time to pause and reflect, you create space to determine what is truly important and what can wait. Not everything requires an immediate response, and not everything needs to be addressed right away. By recognizing what is urgent and what is important, you can prioritize your time and energy more effectively. One simple way to do this is to practice the 2-minute rule. If a task can be completed in less than 2 minutes, do it immediately. But if it requires more time, attention, or energy, place it in a category of things to focus on later. The goal is not to ignore responsibilities, but to put them in their proper place, and to allow yourself the freedom to focus on the one thing that will make the most difference in your life. Another powerful technique is to block out time for focused work. During this time, turn off notifications, silence your phone, and immerse yourself in the task at hand. When you do this, you break free from the urgency of the moment and create space for deep, meaningful work. By learning to recognize and reject the myth of urgency, you reclaim control over your time. You will allow yourself the freedom to focus on what truly matters, without being constantly pulled in 1,000 directions. Urgency is a false measure of success. True success comes from making deliberate, intentional choices and focusing on the one thing that will move you forward. Chapter 3. Live with purpose. The foundation of purpose. Purpose is not a destination. It is the quiet force that drives every meaningful action you take. In a world filled with distractions, the idea of living with purpose can sometimes feel elusive, as though it is something to be found or achieved later on in life. However, the truth is that purpose is not something you search for outside of yourself, but rather something you cultivate within, moment by moment. Purpose is the guiding star that helps you navigate the chaos of everyday life. Without it, you are like a ship adrift on an ocean, pulled by every wave and gust of wind, uncertain of your direction. But when you align with your true purpose, you become the captain of your ship, able to steer with clarity and conviction. No matter the storms that may arise, every human being is born with a unique purpose, something that resonates deeply with their heart and soul. This purpose may not always be obvious at first. It may require time, reflection, and a quieting of the external noise to discover, but once you tap into it, once you understand what truly matters to you, you begin to live with intention. Every decision, every action, begins to reflect that deeper purpose, and you move through life with a sense of fulfillment and peace. Living with purpose is not about achieving external success or fulfilling societal expectations. It is about aligning your thoughts, actions, and energy with your deepest values. It is about knowing that what you are doing is meaningful and that it aligns with the person you are at your core. When you live with purpose, you make choices that reflect your true self, not the expectations placed upon you by others. To discover your purpose, it often helps to begin by asking yourself questions that reach deep into your heart. What do I care about most in this life? What would I do if no one else was watching, and I had all the time and resources I needed? These questions may not provide immediate answers, but they will start to create the space in which purpose can emerge. Purpose is not something that is found overnight. It is cultivated over time, through consistent reflection, through aligning your actions with your values, and through quiet moments of introspection. And as you begin to live with purpose, you will notice that the distractions of life start to lose their hold on you. The urgency to do everything, to please everyone, fades, and instead, you become deeply rooted in what truly matters. Purpose brings clarity. It acts as a filter through which you can evaluate every choice you make. When you know your purpose, it becomes much easier to say no to things that do not align with it. This, in turn, allows you to focus on what truly matters. You stop spreading yourself thin across multiple commitments that pull you in every direction, and instead, you begin to dedicate your time and energy to the things that move you closer to your deepest goals. One of the key benefits of living with purpose is that it brings a sense of peace. When you know why you are doing something, when you understand the deeper meaning behind your actions, you are less likely to get lost in the trivialities of life. You begin to understand that your time and energy are precious, and you start to invest them wisely. Purpose helps you make choices that resonate with your soul, and it enables you to live a life that feels fulfilling, not exhausting. Living with purpose also gives you a sense of direction. When you are aligned with your purpose, every step you take feels intentional. You no longer wander aimlessly, trying to figure out what's next. Instead, you trust in the path ahead, knowing that each step, no matter how small, brings you closer to fulfilling your deeper calling. Even the challenges you face along the way become part of the journey, teaching you lessons that deepen your understanding of yourself and your purpose. It's important to understand that living with purpose doesn't mean having everything figured out all at once. It's an ongoing process, one that involves regularly revisiting your values, your goals, and your intentions. It's about staying aligned with what matters most to you, and being willing to course correct when you find yourself drifting off course. Purpose, like focus, is a practice. It requires intentionality and dedication. But as you cultivate this practice, you will find that your life begins to feel more meaningful, more aligned with your true self. And in this alignment, you will find peace, clarity, and a deep sense of fulfillment. Aligning with your true purpose. Living with purpose is not a momentary choice, but a constant practice, one that requires you to align your thoughts, actions, and energy with what truly matters to you. It's easy to be swept away by the demands of the world, pulled in countless directions by the people and circumstances around us. But when you align with your true purpose, you are no longer at the mercy of the world's distractions. Instead, you become a steady force, confidently moving toward your goals with clarity and intention. The first step in aligning with your purpose is to acknowledge that your purpose is already within you. It's not something that you need to go out and find. It's something you uncover through introspection, reflection, and deep self-awareness. Your purpose is the unique combination of your values, passions, and talents. It is the calling that resides in your heart. It has always been there, waiting for you to recognize it. Aligning with your purpose starts with connecting with your inner self. This requires setting aside the noise of the world, quieting the external distractions, and turning inward. In this space of stillness, you begin to hear the quiet whispers of your soul, guiding you toward the path that is meant for you. It is in this stillness that you can hear what truly matters to you, beyond the expectations placed upon you by others. Living with purpose is about intentionality. Once you have connected with your purpose, you must make intentional choices that reflect your values and goals. Every action, decision, and moment should be considered through the lens of your deeper purpose. This doesn't mean that you won't face challenges or that life will always be easy. But when you are aligned with your purpose, even the obstacles become meaningful, as they are part of your growth and journey toward fulfillment. One of the keys to aligning with your purpose is to recognize that it is a lifelong journey. Your purpose is not something you achieve in one grand moment. It is something that unfolds over time. As you grow and evolve, your purpose may shift and deepen, but it will always be rooted in the core of who you are. The more you live in alignment with that purpose, the clearer your path becomes. Alignment with purpose requires you to be willing to say no to the distractions that will inevitably arise. The world will offer you many opportunities, but not all of them will align with your purpose. The ability to discern what is aligned with your true self is an essential skill that comes from cultivating inner clarity. By staying grounded in your purpose, you can make decisions with confidence, knowing that each choice will bring you closer to living the life you are meant to live. It's important to understand that living with purpose doesn't mean living a life of perfection. It doesn't mean you will always have everything figured out or that everything will fall into place effortlessly. It's a journey of constant growth and realignment. As you encounter challenges and setbacks, your purpose will be the anchor that keeps you grounded. When you feel lost or uncertain, returning to your purpose will remind you of the bigger picture and help you find your way again. Alignment with purpose also requires patience. In a world that values speed and immediate results, it can be tempting to rush the process. But purpose is not something to be rushed. It is cultivated through daily practice, through taking consistent, intentional actions that align with your deeper values. Trust that the steps you take, no matter how small, are moving you toward your true path. The journey is not linear, and it will not always be easy, but every step is a step toward living a life of meaning and fulfillment. One of the most powerful aspects of living with purpose is the peace it brings. When you align with your true purpose, you no longer feel the need to prove yourself to others or chase after external validation. You stop seeking approval from the outside world because you know that your worth comes from within. You stop comparing yourself to others, knowing that your path is unique to you. This inner peace allows you to move through life with a calm certainty, no longer swayed by the opinions or expectations of others. Living with purpose also allows you to find deeper meaning in every aspect of your life. Whether you are working, engaging in relationships, or simply enjoying the present moment, you begin to see the connection between all things. Every action becomes infused with meaning as it is aligned with your core values. This deep sense of meaning brings joy and fulfillment, making even the smallest tasks feel purposeful. As you continue to live with purpose, you will also begin to attract people and opportunities that are aligned with your goals. The more you focus on your purpose, the more the universe seems to open up to you. You may find that the right people enter your life at the right time, or that doors begin to open in ways you couldn't have imagined. This is not a coincidence. It is the natural result of living in alignment with your true self. But alignment with purpose is not just about attracting opportunities, it's also about giving. When you are aligned with your purpose, you are able to give of yourself freely. You are no longer held back by fear, doubt, or insecurity, and you can offer your talents, wisdom, and love to the world. This sense of generosity brings deeper fulfillment than any material success ever could. It is through giving that we find true connection and meaning in life. To live with purpose is to live authentically. It is to live a life that is in harmony with who you truly are. It is to wake up each day with a sense of excitement and clarity, knowing that everything you do is moving you closer to the life you are meant to create. This alignment allows you to overcome obstacles with resilience, to make decisions with confidence, and to find peace in the knowledge that you are living your truth. As you reflect on your own life, ask yourself, am I living in alignment with my true purpose? Are my actions and decisions aligned with what matters most to me? And if not, what small changes can I make today to begin aligning more deeply with my purpose? Remember, this journey is not about perfection. It is about consistently choosing to live with intention, with meaning, and with purpose. Chapter 4. Live with priority. In our fast-paced world, it's easy to get caught up in the chaos of doing more. We feel overwhelmed by the number of tasks, responsibilities, and requests that fill our days. There's a constant pressure to do everything, all at once, as if juggling multiple priorities will lead us to success. But this approach is the exact opposite of what brings extraordinary results. Success does not come from doing more, it comes from focusing on less. Specifically, it comes from focusing on the one thing that truly matters most. In The One Thing, Gary Keller teaches us that extraordinary results are determined by how narrow our focus can be. The more we narrow our attention to what truly moves the needle, the greater our success will be. To live with priority means choosing one thing, the most important thing, and focusing all your energy and attention on it. It means resisting the urge to spread yourself across multiple tasks, projects, and obligations. The key to success isn't doing everything well, it's doing the right thing well. The central question to ask yourself is, what is the one thing I can do such that by doing it, everything else will be easier or unnecessary? This question helps you identify the most important task that will yield the greatest results. It's not about being busy or fulfilling every obligation. It's about being intentional with your time and efforts. By narrowing your focus to this one thing, you can eliminate distractions and make everything else in your life more manageable. Living with priority requires that we make decisions based on our highest values. Without clear values, it's difficult to prioritize. We may feel torn between various tasks, and our focus becomes scattered. But when we are clear about what truly matters, when we identify our core priorities, our decisions become much easier. We know what to say yes to, and we know what to say no to. At the heart of living with priority is the idea of alignment. Your actions need to align with your values, your purpose, and your one thing. When your actions are aligned with your highest priorities, you create a sense of clarity and purpose in everything you do. You stop feeling torn between conflicting tasks and responsibilities. Instead, everything you do moves you one step closer to achieving your extraordinary results. In our modern world, distractions are inevitable. We are constantly bombarded by emails, notifications, phone calls, and social media. These distractions pull us in different directions and make it difficult to focus on what truly matters. But living with priority means protecting your time and eliminating distractions. It means creating an environment that allows you to focus on your one thing. One of the most effective ways to eliminate distractions is through time blocking. Time blocking is a powerful technique where you schedule dedicated time to focus exclusively on your most important task. By setting aside specific time blocks during your day for deep work, you eliminate the risk of being pulled away by less important tasks. During these time blocks, you commit to focusing solely on your one thing. It's an intentional practice that protects your time and keeps you focused on what matters most. Time blocking is particularly powerful because it helps you avoid the trap of reactive work. Reactive work is when you spend your day responding to the demands and requests of others. Your day is filled with interruptions and distractions, and before you know it, the work you set out to do is left unfinished. Time blocking ensures that you set aside focused, uninterrupted time to work on your one thing, which leads to greater productivity and results. However, time blocking requires discipline. Discipline is the ability to stay focused on your one thing, even when distractions arise. It means resisting the temptation to check emails, answer phone calls, or engage in tasks that are not aligned with your goals. Discipline is not about working harder or longer. It's about working smarter by giving your full attention to what truly matters. The more you practice time blocking and discipline, the easier it becomes to stay focused on your one thing. Over time, you will build the habit of focusing on your most important task, and this consistency will lead to extraordinary results. It's not about doing everything at once. It's about dedicating your energy to the task that will move you closer to your goals. One of the biggest challenges in living with priority is the temptation to say yes to everything. We often say yes to requests, opportunities, and obligations out of a sense of duty or fear of missing out. But the truth is, by saying yes to everything, we are saying no to the things that truly matter. The ability to say no is one of the most important skills you can develop. Saying no allows you to protect your time and focus on the one thing that will bring you the greatest success. Saying no is not always easy. We fear disappointing others or missing out on opportunities. But in order to live with priority, you must be willing to say no to things that don't align with your goals. This means rejecting distractions, unimportant tasks, and even opportunities that may seem appealing but don't serve your highest priorities. By saying no, you create the space to say yes to what truly matters. You are able to dedicate your energy to the one thing that will have the greatest impact on your life. This is the essence of living with priority, making intentional choices that are aligned with your goals and values. Living with priority also means eliminating non-essential tasks. There will always be tasks that demand your attention, but not all of them are equally important. Some tasks are urgent but not significant, while others are important but not urgent. To live with priority, you must differentiate between what is important and what is urgent. The important tasks are those that align with your values and one thing, while the urgent tasks are those that pull you away from your focus. By learning to differentiate between these two types of tasks, you can eliminate the ones that don't contribute to your long-term success. This process of elimination allows you to devote your time and energy to what matters most, which is the key to achieving extraordinary results. Living with priority also means understanding the power of compounding. Much like interest in a bank account, small, consistent actions toward your one thing will build over time. By consistently dedicating time to your most important task, you create a compounding effect that leads to extraordinary results. This principle of compounding applies to every area of life, from health and fitness to relationships and career. It's easy to dismiss small actions as insignificant. 1 hour of focused work may seem like a drop in the ocean, but over time, those small efforts accumulate into significant progress. The compounding effect is what turns consistent, focused effort into extraordinary results. The key is consistency. If you focus on your one thing every day, even if it's just for a short time, the results will build exponentially. One of the most important aspects of living with priority is being able to recognize and act on opportunities that align with your one thing. As you narrow your focus and begin to live with priority, you will notice that opportunities start to present themselves. This is because you are more aligned with your goals and your values. Opportunities are always around us, but when we are scattered or distracted, we miss them. By focusing on your one thing, you create the clarity to see and seize the right opportunities. However, living with priority also means being willing to reject opportunities that do not align with your goals. There will be countless opportunities that seem appealing, but if they do not align with your one thing, they will only serve to distract you. The temptation to take on new opportunities can be strong, especially when they seem urgent or promising. But it's essential to stay focused on what truly matters. When you learn to reject the opportunities that don't align with your one thing, you free up time and energy to focus on the opportunities that will help you achieve extraordinary results. This selective approach to opportunity allows you to make deliberate, meaningful progress toward your goal. Another vital aspect of living with priority is understanding your limits. We all have limited time, energy, and resources. By recognizing this fact, you can avoid overloading yourself with tasks and commitments that drain your energy. Living with priority means knowing what to say yes to and knowing what to say no to in order to protect your time and focus. It's important to realize that you cannot do everything, and that's okay. The key is to do the right thing, that one thing that will move you closer to your desired outcomes. In our modern culture, there is a pervasive belief that success comes from constant activity, from being busy all the time. But the reality is that being constantly busy often leads to burnout, and burnout leads to diminishing results. By living with priority, you give yourself permission to say no to busy work, and instead focus on the activities that will lead to the greatest success. You stop trying to do everything, and instead, focus on what matters most. Living with priority also means committing to self-care. When we prioritize everything else, it's easy to neglect our own well-being. But true success requires energy, clarity, and focus, and you can't give your best if you're not taking care of yourself. Self-care is an essential part of living with priority. It's about making time for rest, exercise, and reflection, the things that replenish your energy and keep you performing at your best. Without self-care, you risk burning out and losing the clarity needed to focus on your one thing. A powerful tool for living with priority is the concept of time blocking. Time blocking involves dedicating specific periods of time during the day to focus solely on your one thing. It's a way of honoring your priorities and making sure that you're devoting sufficient time to the most important tasks. By time blocking, you ensure that your most important activities are not pushed aside by less important ones. To implement time blocking effectively, start by creating a schedule that reflects your priorities. Set aside time each day to focus exclusively on your one thing. This could be in the morning, when your energy is at its highest, or in the evening, when you can work without distractions. Make these time blocks sacred. Protect them from interruptions and distractions. Over time, you'll find that these focused periods of work lead to significant progress on your goals. Living with priority also means recognizing that you are the architect of your life. Every day, you have the power to decide how you spend your time. The choices you make determine your future. If you choose to focus on your one thing and make it the central priority in your life, you create the conditions for extraordinary results. If you choose to scatter your focus and spread yourself thin, you'll continue to achieve mediocre results. One of the most empowering aspects of living with priority is the realization that you are in control of your time and your focus. When you live with intention, you take ownership of your life. You no longer let external forces dictate your actions. Instead, you choose what matters most, and you commit to making that your priority. This intentional approach to life is what allows you to achieve extraordinary results, both in your career and in your personal life. As you begin to live with priority, you may encounter resistance. Change is never easy, and it's natural to feel discomfort as you start to shift your focus and say no to other demands. But the key is to push through that resistance. The results you will achieve by living with priority far outweigh the temporary discomfort of saying no or resisting distractions. Stay committed to your one thing, and you will see that extraordinary results are within your reach. Chapter 5. The Power of Saying No. Freedom of Boundaries in the Pursuit of Success. We often find ourselves pulled in many directions, each person and task demanding our time, energy, and attention. We live in a world that celebrates busyness, where saying yes is often seen as a sign of willingness, responsibility, and reliability. But what if the secret to true success and fulfillment lies not in saying yes to everything, but in the power of saying no? Saying no is a practice that requires strength, clarity, and an unwavering commitment to your values. It is not about being selfish or dismissive. It is about recognizing that your time, energy, and attention are precious resources, and that you must protect them in order to focus on what truly matters. By learning to say no, you create space for the things that align with your deeper purpose, and you prevent yourself from being spread too thin by commitments that do not serve your growth. The power of saying no lies in its ability to preserve your focus. When you say yes to everything, you dilute your energy and attention, and as a result, you become less effective at anything you do. The more you say yes to tasks, obligations, and people, the less time you have to devote to the things that will move you forward. But when you learn to say no, you gain control over your time, and you can direct your energy toward the one thing that will bring you the most fulfillment and success. At first, saying no can feel uncomfortable. We fear disappointing others, letting people down, or being perceived as rude or unhelpful. But the truth is that saying no is not about rejecting others, it is about honoring your own needs and commitments. By saying no to the things that do not align with your purpose, you are saying yes to the things that truly matter. You are choosing to honor your own time and energy, and in doing so, you make room for the life you want to create. Learning to say no is also an act of self. When you say yes to everything, you are essentially telling yourself that your needs and desires are not as important as the demands of others. You are putting other people's needs before your own, and in doing so, you are not giving yourself permission to prioritize what matters most. By saying no, you reclaim your power and assert your right to focus on your own goals and dreams. One of the most difficult aspects of saying no is the fear of missing out, the fear that by turning down opportunities or requests, you will miss something important. In today's world, where we are constantly bombarded with messages, invitations, and offers, it can be easy to feel that we must say yes to everything in order to stay relevant or successful. But the truth is that by saying no to the wrong things, you open the door to the right things. You allow yourself the space to pursue what truly aligns with your purpose, and in doing so, you create a life that is meaningful, intentional, and fulfilling. Saying no is also an act of setting boundaries. Boundaries are essential for protecting your time, energy, and emotional well-being. Without clear boundaries, you can easily become overwhelmed by the constant demands of others. When you set boundaries, you establish clear guidelines for what you will and will not tolerate in your life. You create space for yourself to focus on your priorities and to ensure that your time and energy are spent on the things that truly matter. But setting boundaries isn't just about saying no to others. It's also about saying no to yourself. It's about recognizing the habits and behaviors that are not serving you and consciously choosing to step away from them. This may mean saying no to procrastination, to distractions, or it may mean saying no to the urge to overcommit, to fill every moment with activity, or to take on more than you can handle. By setting boundaries with yourself, you reinforce your commitment to living intentionally and with purpose. To practice the power of saying no, start by being clear about your values and priorities. When you know what is most important to you, it becomes easier to evaluate each request, invitation, or obligation that comes your way. Ask yourself, does this align with my values? Will this bring me closer to my goals, or will it distract me from them? If the answer is no, then it's time to say no. In the beginning, it may feel challenging, but with practice, saying no becomes easier. You begin to recognize that by saying no to the wrong things, you create the space and energy needed to say yes to the things that will move you forward. Saying no is a powerful tool for protecting your focus and preserving your time and energy for what truly matters. Reclaiming your time and energy. Once you have started to practice the art of saying no, you will begin to notice a profound shift in your life. By freeing yourself from the constant demands and distractions of external obligations, you create space to focus on the one thing that truly matters, space to nurture your passions, and space to live a life that aligns with your values. One of the greatest benefits of saying no is that it allows you to reclaim your time and energy. Time, once lost, cannot be recovered. Energy, once spent, is gone. Yet, we often give both away without consideration, spreading ourselves thin in an attempt to meet every expectation or to please every person. But when you say no, you begin to take control of these precious resources, ensuring that they are used in ways that serve your highest purpose. This practice of reclaiming time and energy is not about being rigid or selfish. It is about protecting what matters most. By saying no to the things that do not align with your purpose, you open the door to opportunities that are more meaningful. You allow yourself the freedom to pour your energy into what truly matters: your growth, your goals, your relationships, and your inner peace. Think about the last time you said yes to something out of obligation or guilt. Perhaps you agreed to take on a project you didn't have the time or energy for, or maybe you committed to a social obligation that left you feeling drained. In those moments, how did you feel afterward? Likely, you felt exhausted, resentful, or even depleted. This is the cost of saying yes to everything. It takes away from your ability to focus on what you truly value and dilutes your energy, leaving you with less to give to the things that are truly important. Now, consider the impact of saying no. When you say no to something that doesn't align with your goals, you are saying yes to yourself. You are choosing to prioritize your well-being, your focus, and your time. You are giving yourself permission to live a life of intention rather than reaction. This act of self-care is transformative. It allows you to redirect your energy and attention toward what will truly bring you joy and fulfillment. As you continue to practice saying no, you will find that you start to feel more empowered and in control of your life. You no longer feel like you are constantly running from one obligation to the next. Instead, you begin to move with purpose, making intentional choices that align with your deeper values. Saying no becomes an act of self-respect, a way to honor your own time and energy, and a way to create the space needed for the things that will move you forward. One of the key aspects of saying no is learning to trust yourself. Often we say yes out of fear of disappointing others, fear of missing out, or fear of being perceived as unhelpful. But when you trust your own judgment and your ability to discern what is truly important, saying no becomes easier. You begin to understand that you are not responsible for meeting everyone's needs or fulfilling every request. You are responsible for yourself and for aligning your actions with your own values. Over time, saying no will also help you build deeper, more meaningful relationships. When you say yes to everything, you are unable to give your full attention to anyone or anything. But when you say no to distractions and superficial obligations, you free up time and energy to invest in the relationships that matter most. You begin to show up more fully for the people in your life, offering them your undivided attention and your best self. This shift in how you relate to your time and energy also leads to a deeper sense of peace. When you are constantly pulled in different directions, it's easy to feel overwhelmed and scattered. But when you say no to the distractions and focus on what truly matters, you create space for calm, clarity, and focus. You begin to feel more aligned with your true self and more connected to your purpose. This peace, in turn, becomes a foundation from which all of your actions and decisions flow. As you continue to practice saying no, remember that it is not about rejecting others or avoiding responsibility. It is about being intentional with your time and energy. It is about saying yes to the things that align with your values and no to those that do not. This is the true art of living intentionally, knowing that every decision you make, every action you take, is in service of your highest purpose. By reclaiming your time and energy through the power of saying no, you empower yourself to live a life that is truly aligned with your deepest desires. You create space for growth, for focus, and for the pursuit of what truly matters. Saying no is not a denial of others. It is a gift to yourself, a commitment to living a life of intention, purpose, and fulfillment. Chapter 6. The Power of Focused Action. The quiet strength of action. Action is the bridge between intention and reality. It is the force that turns dreams into tangible results, that transforms thoughts into achievements. But not all action is equal. In a world that often celebrates hustle and constant movement, it is easy to fall into the trap of believing that more action equals greater success. However, the truth is that it is not about the quantity of action, but the quality of it. Specifically, focused action. Focused action is intentional and aligned with your purpose. It is not scattered or aimless. It is the act of moving with clarity, taking deliberate steps toward your goal, and ensuring that each action is meaningful. When you focus your energy on what truly matters, your actions become powerful and transformative. 1. of the biggest challenges we face in a world full of distractions is learning how to take action without getting overwhelmed. With so many demands on our time, it is easy to feel like we need to do everything at once, to multitask and juggle 1,000 things in the hopes that something will stick. But focused action requires you to do just the opposite. It requires you to narrow your attention to one thing at a time, to move forward with purpose and precision, and to eliminate the distractions that pull you away from your true goal. Think of the power of a magnifying glass. When the light is scattered, it does little to create change. But when it is focused on one point, it has the power to burn through the toughest obstacles. The same is true for your actions. When you direct your energy and efforts toward a single, focused goal, you create a powerful force that moves you closer to your desired outcome. Taking focused action requires discipline. It requires the ability to say no to distractions, to resist the urge to spread yourself too thin, and to commit to your goal with unwavering attention. It is easy to get caught up in the demands of the outside world, to feel like you must do everything and be everything to everyone. But focused action is about making a choice. It is about choosing to prioritize what truly matters, and then dedicating your time and energy to that one thing. When you take focused action, you create momentum. Each step you take, no matter how small, moves you closer to your goal. This momentum builds upon itself, creating a snowball effect that propels you forward. The more you focus your efforts on the right actions, the more you begin to see progress, and the more motivated you become to continue moving forward. The key to focused action is clarity. Without clarity, your actions can become scattered, unfocused, and ineffective. Clarity allows you to understand exactly what needs to be done, why it needs to be done, and how to do it. It helps you prioritize your actions and eliminate unnecessary tasks that do not contribute to your goal. When you have clarity, you are able to take deliberate, purposeful steps that align with your deeper purpose, and each action becomes meaningful. Clarity also brings confidence. When you know exactly what you need to do, and when you are certain that your actions are aligned with your purpose, you begin to move forward with confidence. You are no longer second-guessing yourself, or wondering whether you are on the right path. Instead, you trust in the process and in your ability to take the right actions at the right time. One of the greatest advantages of focused action is that it allows you to simplify your life. Instead of feeling overwhelmed by a never-ending to-do list, you can focus on the one thing that will make everything else easier or unnecessary. By eliminating distractions and focusing your energy on what truly matters, you create space for meaningful progress and deeper fulfillment. Taking focused action also requires patience. It is easy to want quick results, but true progress takes time. Focused action is not about instant gratification. It is about taking consistent, deliberate steps toward your goal, trusting that each action is moving you closer to your desired outcome. It is about trusting the process, knowing that the path you are walking is aligned with your purpose. One of the best ways to stay focused and ensure that you are taking the right actions is to break your goal down into smaller, manageable steps. This helps you maintain clarity and direction, preventing you from feeling overwhelmed by the larger task at hand. By breaking your goal into smaller milestones, you create a clear path forward and give yourself achievable targets to focus on. Each small step you take brings you closer to your larger vision, and each success builds your confidence and momentum. Focused action also requires flexibility. Life is unpredictable, and sometimes things don't go according to plan. But when you are focused on your goal, you can adapt to changing circumstances without losing sight of your purpose. Flexibility allows you to adjust your approach as needed, without losing the clarity and focus that is driving you forward. The power of focused action lies in its simplicity. It is not about doing more, but about doing less, but doing it with purpose, clarity, and intention. When you commit to focused action, you create a life that is aligned with your goals, where each step you take is a meaningful contribution to the life you desire to create. The consistency of focused effort, when it comes to creating lasting change in your life, focused action alone is not enough. Consistency is the key to turning focused effort into tangible results. It is the repeated, intentional actions, done day after day, that build momentum and bring you closer to your goals. Focused action, when combined with consistency, becomes a powerful force that can propel you toward your greatest ambitions. The difference between those who succeed and those who don't often comes down to consistency. Many people start with great enthusiasm, diving into a new goal with passion and energy. However, enthusiasm can fade, and obstacles can make it easy to lose focus. The difference is made in the moments when enthusiasm wanes, when you don't feel like taking action, but you do it anyway. It's in those moments that consistency matters most. Consistency is what allows you to build momentum. When you commit to focused action every day, you are building a cycle of progress. The more you focus your energy on the right task, the more you begin to see results. And when you see results, even small ones, your confidence grows, and you are encouraged to continue. This positive cycle continues to build, creating momentum that carries you forward. One of the most effective ways to stay consistent with your actions is to establish habits that support your focus. Habits are the foundation of success. They are the small actions that you do without thinking, the routines that create structure and rhythm in your life. By making your focused actions into habits, you remove the need for constant decision. You create an automatic system that keeps you on track, even on the days when motivation is low. For example, if your goal is to write a book, consistency might mean writing for 30 minutes every morning, without fail. It's not about waiting for inspiration to strike, it's about showing up and doing the work, regardless of how you feel. By making writing a habit, you remove the decision-making process each day, and instead, you simply act. Over time, these small acts of consistent, focused action compound and lead to major results. Another key to consistency is accountability. When you commit to your goals and share them with others, you create a sense of responsibility that can help you stay on track. Having someone to check in with, whether it's a friend, a mentor, or a coach, can provide the support you need to keep going, even when obstacles arise. Accountability helps you stay focused, especially on days when distractions or may try to pull you away from your goal. Focus and consistency also require the courage to say no to the things that do not align with your priorities. In order to stay on track, you must learn to protect your time and energy from distractions. This might mean saying no to certain social engagements, turning down work that does not serve your purpose, or cutting out activities that are draining or unproductive. Saying no is not about being selfish. It is about preserving your focus and protecting the time and energy you need to invest in your goals. One of the most powerful aspects of consistent, focused action is that it allows you to measure progress. Each action you take is a step forward, and when you consistently move in the right direction, you can see tangible results. These results become evidence of your success, motivating you to keep going. The act of measuring progress helps to reinforce your commitment to your goals and reminds you of how far you've come as you begin to develop the consistency of focused effort. It's important to remember that success is not always immediate. Progress can be slow at times, and the road to achieving your biggest goals may seem long. But remember that consistency compounds. What seems like a small action today may seem insignificant, but over time, those small actions add up, creating a big impact. The key to long-term success is patience. You must trust in the process and give yourself permission to move forward at your own pace. Consistency doesn't mean rushing. It means showing up, day after day, and doing the work, no matter how small the step may seem. It's about making progress, not perfection. It's about knowing that each day brings you one step closer to your desired outcome. Consistency also requires resilience. There will be days when you feel discouraged, when the obstacles seem too great, and when you question whether it's all worth it. These are the moments that will test your commitment. But when you are consistent, you build the resilience to push through those moments, knowing that your focused action will pay off in the end. It's during these challenging times that your persistence will become your greatest strength. Focused action, when paired with consistency, becomes a powerful force for transformation. It allows you to overcome the distractions of life, stay aligned with your goals, and make meaningful progress toward the life you desire. By committing to consistent, focused effort, you create a life of purpose, clarity, and fulfillment. So, as you continue on your journey, remember that success is not about taking huge leaps all at once. It is about taking small, consistent steps toward your goal, day after day. Each focused action you take brings you closer to the life you envision. Trust in the process, stay consistent, and know that your focused efforts will create the transformation you seek. Chapter 7. The importance of prioritization. Understanding what truly matters in a world that constantly demands our time and attention. The ability to prioritize is one of the most powerful tools for achieving success and fulfillment. Every day, we are presented with an endless list of tasks, responsibilities, and commitments. But not all of these tasks are created equal. Some move us closer to our goals, while others simply take up space and energy. The key to living a purposeful life lies in understanding what truly matters and prioritizing it above all else. Prioritization is not about doing more. It is about doing less, but doing it with intention. It is about identifying the tasks, relationships, and goals that are most aligned with your deepest values and directing your energy toward them. By focusing on what truly matters, you create a life of meaning and purpose, where every action is a step toward your greatest aspirations. The first step in prioritization is clarity. Without clarity, everything seems equally urgent and important. We feel overwhelmed by the sheer number of tasks and responsibilities, unsure of where to begin. But when we take the time to reflect on our values and goals, we gain the clarity we need to make informed decisions. Clarity allows us to discern between what is important and what is merely a distraction. To gain clarity, start by asking yourself, what are my core values? What is most important to me in this stage of my life? What do I want to achieve, and why? These questions may seem simple, but they are powerful. They help you align your daily actions with your deeper purpose, ensuring that you are focusing your time and energy on the things that will bring you the greatest fulfillment and success. Once you have clarity about your values and goals, you can begin to prioritize. Prioritization is the act of making conscious decisions about where to focus your time and energy. It requires you to say no to the things that are not aligned with your goals, and to say yes to the things that will move you forward. This can be a difficult process, as we are often conditioned to believe that we must do everything and be everything to everyone. But the truth is, we cannot do everything well. By prioritizing what matters most, we create the space for excellence in those areas. One of the most effective ways to prioritize is to break down your goals into smaller, actionable steps. When you have a clear vision of what you want to achieve, it can be overwhelming to think about the entire journey at once. By breaking your goals down into smaller, manageable tasks, you make the process less daunting and more achievable. These smaller tasks become stepping stones that guide you toward your larger goal, and each step completed brings you closer to your desired outcome. Another useful tool for prioritization is the 80-20 rule, also known as the Pareto principle. This principle states that 80% of your results come from 20% of your efforts. In other words, the majority of your success is driven by a small number of key activities. By identifying these high-impact tasks and focusing on them, you can achieve more in less time. The 80-20 rule encourages you to focus on the tasks that will have the greatest impact on your goals, rather than getting bogged down in less important activities. As you begin to prioritize, it's also important to recognize the difference between what is urgent and what is important. We often find ourselves reacting to urgent tasks, responding to emails, phone calls, and requests, without ever considering whether they are truly important. While urgent tasks may demand our immediate attention, they do not always contribute to our long-term goals. By prioritizing the important tasks, those that align with your values and bring you closer to your goals, you begin to take control of your time and energy. Prioritization also requires discipline. It requires you to be willing to say no to the things that are not aligned with your purpose, even if they seem appealing in the moment. It means resisting the temptation to be busy for the sake of being busy. By focusing on what truly matters, you can avoid getting caught in the trap of constant activity without meaningful progress. Discipline is what allows you to stay true to your priorities, even when distractions arise. One of the greatest challenges of prioritization is learning to manage your time effectively. Time is a finite resource, and once it's gone, it cannot be regained. That is why it is so important to make conscious decisions about how you spend your time. This means setting aside time for the things that matter most, and being intentional about where you direct your energy. When you prioritize your time, you create space for the things that will bring you closer to your dreams, rather than being swept along by the demands of others. In the process of prioritization, it's important to remember that you don't have to do everything on your own. Delegating tasks or asking for help is a powerful way to free up time and focus on what matters most. Often, we feel like we have to take on everything ourselves. But the truth is that collaboration and support are key to achieving our goals. By letting go of the need to do everything ourselves, we create room for others to contribute to our success, and we make progress faster and more efficiently. Lastly, it's important to recognize that prioritization is a dynamic process. Life is constantly changing, and so are your priorities. What is most important to you today may shift as you grow and evolve. By regularly reassessing your goals and priorities, you ensure that your time and energy are always aligned with what matters most to you in that moment. Prioritization is not a one-time event, but an ongoing practice that requires reflection and adaptation. By mastering the art of prioritization, you create a life that is aligned with your deepest values and desires. You stop reacting to the demands of the world and begin to proactively shape your life, one focused, intentional step at a time. With clarity, discipline, and a commitment to what truly matters, you will find that your life begins to flow more smoothly, with greater fulfillment, purpose, and success. Mastering the art of saying no. As we explore prioritization, we come to a realization that, in order to truly focus on what matters, we must become comfortable with saying no. Saying no is not a rejection of others or a refusal to help. Rather, it is an essential tool in maintaining focus on what aligns with your highest goals. When you learn the art of saying no, you unlock a deeper level of control over your time and energy, and you begin to carve out space for what truly deserves your attention. The challenge with saying no lies in our fear of letting others down or disappointing them. Society often places great value on being helpful, responsive, and accommodating. But in doing so, we risk spreading ourselves too thin, draining our energy, and losing focus on what's most important. Saying yes to everything, even when we don't have the capacity, ultimately leads to burnout and a lack of fulfillment. By saying no, you are asserting boundaries that protect your time and energy. Boundaries are necessary to live with purpose and clarity. Without boundaries, life becomes a series of obligations and distractions, each one pulling you in a different direction. Prioritization is not just about deciding what to say yes to. It's also about determining what to say no to, knowing when an opportunity or request does not serve your deeper purpose. Mastering the art of saying no starts with understanding your values. When you are clear about what truly matters to you, it becomes much easier to make decisions about where to invest your time and energy. This clarity is essential in discerning what is in alignment with your goals and what is not. As you strengthen your understanding of your purpose and values, you will find that your ability to say no grows stronger, and it no longer feels like a burden but a necessary step toward preserving your focus. Saying no is not always easy, especially when we fear the consequences. We may worry about disappointing someone or missing out on an opportunity. But the truth is, by saying no to the wrong things, you are actually saying yes to the right ones. You are giving yourself the time and space needed to focus on what matters most, and in doing so, you open yourself up to greater opportunities, alignment, and fulfillment. It's also important to remember that saying no doesn't mean being dismissive or unkind. It means being respectful of your own time and needs. When you say no, you are simply making a choice about where to direct your energy. You can say no with grace and respect, without feeling guilty. By doing so, you model healthy boundaries for others and create an environment where mutual respect for time and priorities is encouraged. An important aspect of saying no is learning to say no to yourself. Often, we are our own worst enemies, saying yes to tasks or behaviors that take us away from our focus, whether it's procrastination, perfectionism, or distractions. Saying no to these tendencies is just as important as saying no to external requests. If you want to live with purpose and make meaningful progress toward your goals, you must also say no to the habits and patterns that no longer serve you. To do this, you must first become aware of these self-imposed distractions. Are you saying yes to distractions that pull you away from your focus? Are you allowing self-doubt, fear, or impatience to distract you from the one thing that matters? By recognizing these internal distractions and learning to say no to them, you reclaim your power and your ability to stay focused on your priorities. The practice of saying no also helps to reduce overwhelm. In our busy lives, it's easy to feel like we need to do everything all at once. But prioritization is about focusing on the most important tasks and saying no to the rest. It's about understanding that you cannot be everything to everyone and that your energy must be directed toward the things that will bring you the most fulfillment and success. As you begin to say no to things that don't serve your purpose, you will notice a shift in your energy. You will feel lighter, more focused, and more aligned with your goals. Saying no creates the space needed for clarity and meaningful action. It allows you to direct your time and energy toward what truly matters, rather than getting lost in the constant cycle of obligations and distractions. One of the most powerful benefits of saying no is the way it allows you to protect your mental and emotional well-being. When you say yes to too many things, you stretch yourself thin, and the result is often stress, anxiety, and burnout. By saying no, you create boundaries that protect your time, energy, and emotions, allowing you to invest in the things that bring you joy, growth, and fulfillment. Living a life of purpose requires discipline. It requires you to prioritize your values and goals, to say no to distractions, and to stay focused on what matters most. Saying no is an essential tool in this process. It is through the act of saying no that you protect your time, create space for what truly matters, and move closer to the life you were meant to create. So, as you move forward, take a moment to reflect. What are you saying yes to that is draining your energy and distracting you from your true purpose? What can you begin to say no to in order to make room for the things that align with your deepest values and goals? Remember, saying no is not an act of rejection. It is an act of self-respect and clarity. By learning to say no to the distractions and obligations that do not serve you, you create the space for the life you truly desire, one that is filled with focus, purpose, and meaning. Chapter 8. The role of rest in achieving success. The power of pause in the pursuit of success. The idea of rest is often overlooked. We are taught to hustle, to work tirelessly, and to push ourselves beyond our limits in the name of achievement. While hard work and focused action are essential to reaching our goals, there is one crucial element that often gets neglected: rest. Rest is not a luxury, it is a necessity. In fact, rest is just as important to your success as the work you do. Without adequate rest, your mind and body become depleted, your focus weakens, and your creativity stagnates. In contrast, when you take time to rest and recharge, you enhance your ability to focus, think clearly, and perform at your best. The power of rest lies in its ability to reset your energy. When you are constantly in motion, constantly giving, constantly doing, your energy becomes depleted. This is not sustainable in the long term. Just as a vehicle needs fuel to run, you need rest to continue operating at full capacity. Without rest, your mental, emotional, and physical resources begin to dwindle, and the quality of your work diminishes. Taking intentional time to rest is an act of self-care and self-respect. It is acknowledging that you are not a machine, that you are human, and that in order to achieve your highest potential, you need balance. Rest allows you to refuel, to recharge, and to return to your work with renewed energy and clarity. Rest is not about doing nothing. It is about doing something for yourself that nurtures your well-being. This could take many forms: a walk in nature, a nap, reading a book, or spending time with loved ones. Rest doesn't always mean physical sleep, though that is certainly a critical part of it. Rest can also mean mental rest, allowing your mind to take a break from constant problem-solving, decision-making, and the pressure of everyday life. When you rest, you give your brain the space it needs to process information and consolidate learning. Studies show that during rest, the brain continues to work behind the scenes, sorting through memories and experiences, making connections, and coming up with creative solutions to problems. This is why ideas often come to us during moments of relaxation or when we are not consciously trying to solve a problem. The key to rest it's not about waiting until you're burned out or exhausted before taking a break. It's about incorporating rest into your daily routine, ensuring that you give yourself the time and space to recharge regularly. By prioritizing rest, you prevent burnout and increase your capacity for sustained focus and effort. When you are well rested, your mind is sharper, your emotions are more balanced, and you are better able to handle challenges with clarity and calmness. You begin to see solutions where others see obstacles, and you approach your work with a sense of ease rather than tension. Rest is what allows you to give your best self to your work, your relationships, and your goals. One of the most important forms of rest is sleep. Sleep is often undervalued in our culture, where we pride ourselves on burning the midnight oil and pushing ourselves beyond our limits. But sleep is vital for mental and physical health. During sleep, the body repairs itself, the brain processes information, and memories are solidified. Without adequate sleep, your cognitive function, decision-making ability, and emotional resilience are compromised. It's essential to view sleep not as a waste of time, but as an investment in your long-term success. When you sleep well, you wake up with more energy, clarity, and creativity. You are more focused, more productive, and more able to handle the challenges of the day. On the other hand, when you deprive yourself of sleep, you risk losing the ability to think clearly, make sound decisions, and perform at your best. But sleep is only one part of the equation. Resting your mind is equally important. Our minds are constantly bombarded with information, and this constant mental stimulation can lead to burnout and mental fatigue. To restore your mental energy, it's essential to disconnect from work and technology regularly. Allow yourself time to be present, to enjoy moments of quiet, and to engage in activities that bring you joy and peace. Whether it's practicing mindfulness, meditating, or simply enjoying a hobby, these moments of mental rest are just as important as physical rest in maintaining a healthy balance. Rest also allows for reflection. In the hustle of everyday life, it's easy to lose sight of the bigger picture. But when you take time to rest and reflect, you create the space to evaluate your progress, adjust your goals, and realign with your deeper purpose. Rest provides the opportunity to step back, assess where you are, and make intentional decisions about the next steps in your journey. In a world that values productivity and constant motion, taking time to rest may seem counterintuitive. We are often told that success comes from working harder, faster, and longer. But true success is not about the quantity of work you do. It's about the quality of your work and the sustainability of your efforts. Rest allows you to perform at your best, to stay focused, and to move toward your goals with clarity and intention. Balancing action and rest for sustainable success. In the pursuit of success, it's easy to fall into the trap of overworking. We are conditioned to believe that productivity is the key to achieving our goals, and as a result, we often sacrifice rest in favor of more work. However, the truth is that rest is not a luxury or an optional addition to your routine. It is a critical component of sustainable success. The key is not to work harder, but to work smarter by balancing action with rest. Rest allows you to recharge, but it also serves a deeper, more profound purpose. It enables you to reconnect with your sense of direction. When you're constantly moving, it's easy to lose sight of the bigger picture. The constant grind can make you feel like you're making progress, but without periods of rest, you may be moving without true clarity or intention. Rest gives you the space to reflect, realign, and make more thoughtful decisions about where to focus your energy. One of the most powerful benefits of rest is its ability to enhance creativity. In our culture of constant busyness, we often feel the need to solve problems, come up with ideas, and make decisions on the spot. But the best solutions often come when we stop trying to force them. When you rest, you allow your mind to process information, sort through ideas, and make connections that may have been overlooked in the hustle. Many successful entrepreneurs, artists, and creatives speak about how their best ideas come during moments of rest, whether in the shower, while walking, or after a good night's sleep. This happens because your brain continues to work behind the scenes, making sense of everything you've encountered, and bringing together the pieces of the puzzle that were previously scattered. Rest also gives you the opportunity to reconnect with your inner self. When you're constantly in motion, it's easy to lose touch with your core values, passions, and purpose. The noise of the world, and the constant drive to accomplish more, can drown out your inner voice. But in the stillness of rest, you create space to listen to that voice. Rest allows you to pause, reflect, and realign with what truly matters to you, helping you to regain clarity and perspective on your journey. When you return to work after taking time to rest, you do so with a renewed sense of purpose and direction. Another aspect of rest is its ability to restore your emotional well-being. Success is not just about achieving external goals, it is also about cultivating a sense of emotional fulfillment. Working relentlessly without taking breaks can lead to burnout, anxiety, and stress, all of which hinder your ability to perform at your best. By incorporating rest into your routine, you give your mind and body the time they need to recover and regenerate. This leads to greater emotional resilience, helping you to stay balanced and focused even in the face of challenges. One of the most effective ways to balance action and rest is to integrate regular breaks into your day. Rather than working until you feel exhausted, take scheduled breaks throughout the day to refresh and recharge. A simple practice is the Pomodoro technique, which involves working in focused 25-minute intervals, followed by a 5-minute break. These breaks may seem short, but they provide an essential opportunity for your mind to rest and reset. Over time, these small moments of rest add up, improving your focus and productivity. Rest also means disconnecting from the constant buzz of technology. In the digital age, we are always connected, whether it's through our phones, emails, or social media. This constant connectivity can leave us feeling drained, unable to truly unplug. Setting boundaries around your technology use, such as scheduling times when you disconnect from your devices, is crucial for maintaining mental clarity and emotional well-being. It's important to remember that your productivity is not determined by how many hours you spend online or how many emails you send. True productivity comes from focused, intentional work, combined with time to rest and recover. As you integrate rest into your routine, you may notice that you start to feel more energized and inspired. You are no longer simply reacting to the demands of the day, but are able to approach your work with a fresh perspective and renewed enthusiasm. Rest allows you to maintain a sense of balance, preventing burnout and ensuring that your energy remains high as you pursue your goals. By honoring the need for rest, you protect your mental and physical health, allowing you to sustain the effort required for long-term success. One of the biggest challenges of incorporating rest into your routine is overcoming the guilt that often accompanies taking a break. Many of us feel that if we are not constantly working, we are being lazy or unproductive. However, this mindset is a barrier to real success. Rest is an essential part of the process, and taking time to recharge is just as important as the work itself. When you give yourself permission to rest, you stop viewing rest as a waste of time, and instead see it as an integral part of the creative and productive process as you move forward. Remember that true success is not a matter of how much you do, but how effectively you do it. It's about being able to maintain focus, clarity, and energy over the long term. By balancing action with rest, you set yourself up for sustainable success. You allow yourself to stay aligned with your purpose, take inspired action, and continue to move forward with resilience, creativity, and joy. Chapter 9. Cultivating the right environment for focused. The power of your surroundings when it comes to achieving success and living a purposeful life. The environment you surround yourself with plays a crucial role. Often, we underestimate the influence that our physical and mental environments have on our ability to focus and perform at our best. But the truth is, our surroundings have a profound impact on our mindset, energy, and productivity. In a world full of distractions, creating a conducive environment for focus is essential. Focus is not something that comes naturally in chaotic or disorganized spaces. Instead, it requires an environment that supports clarity, calmness, and intentionality. When your surroundings are aligned with your goals, your ability to focus becomes more natural and effortless. The first step in cultivating the right environment for focus is to assess your physical space. The place where you work, study, or spend the majority of your time needs to be a space that promotes concentration, creativity, and productivity. If your workspace is cluttered, disorganized, or filled with distractions, it can be difficult to maintain focus on the task at hand. A cluttered space often leads to a cluttered mind, making it harder to think clearly and act with intention. To create a space that supports focus, start by decluttering. Clear away any items that are not essential to the task at hand. Keep your workspace clean and organized, ensuring that everything you need is within reach and easy to find. This simple act of organization can significantly improve your ability to concentrate and get things done. A clean, organized space sends a message to your brain that it's time to focus, helping to eliminate distractions and create a sense of calm. In addition to decluttering, consider the atmosphere of your workspace. Lighting, sound, and even temperature can all impact your ability to focus. Bright, natural light is ideal for creating an environment of energy and clarity. If possible, Position your workspace near a window where you can benefit from natural light and a connection to the outside world. If natural light is not an option, consider investing in high-quality lighting that mimics daylight to enhance your focus. Sound is another important factor to consider. While some people thrive in complete silence, others find that ambient noise or soft background music helps them concentrate. If you find that silence is distracting, experiment with soft instrumental music or white noise to help create a calming atmosphere. There are various apps and tools available that provide focus-enhancing sounds, such as the sound of rain, waves, or nature, which can help drown out distractions and create a more focused environment. Temperature also plays a role in your ability to concentrate. If you are too hot or too cold, it can be difficult to maintain focus. Ensure that the temperature of your workspace is comfortable, allowing you to work without discomfort. If necessary, adjust the temperature, add a fan, or use layers to make sure you're in a space that supports your productivity. Another powerful way to enhance your environment for focus is through the use of plants. Research shows that plants not only improve air quality, but also reduce stress and increase concentration. Adding a few plants to your workspace can help create a calming, nature-inspired environment that encourages focus and productivity. Once you've optimized your physical space, it's time to consider your mental environment. Your mindset, attitude, and mental habits can either support or hinder your ability to focus. A positive, calm, and open mindset is essential for staying focused and aligned with your goals. To cultivate a mental environment that fosters focus, start by practicing mindfulness. Mindfulness is the practice of being fully present in the moment, without judgment or distraction. When you practice mindfulness, you bring your full attention to the task at hand, blocking out any mental distractions or worries. This practice can be particularly helpful at the beginning of the day or before starting a new task, as it allows you to clear your mind and prepare for deep, intentional work. Another key aspect of creating a mental environment for focus is managing your emotions. Negative emotions, such as stress, frustration, or anxiety, can create mental clutter and hinder your ability to concentrate. It's important to cultivate emotional balance through practices such as meditation, deep breathing, or journaling. By regularly checking in with your emotions and addressing any negative feelings, you can clear away mental barriers to focus and maintain a calm, centered state of mind. One effective technique for creating a focused mental environment is visualization. Before beginning a task, take a moment to visualize yourself completing it with ease and clarity. Picture yourself fully immersed in the work, feeling calm, confident, and focused. This mental rehearsal can help prime your mind for success, setting the stage for a productive and focused session. A powerful mental environment also requires self-compassion. Often, we push ourselves too hard, expecting perfection and immediate results. However, this mindset can lead to frustration, burnout, and decreased focus. Instead, practice being kind to yourself. Acknowledge that progress takes time, and allow yourself to make mistakes and learn along the way. This mindset fosters a sense of ease and flow, helping you stay focused and motivated over the long term. Another important factor in cultivating a supportive mental environment is eliminating mental clutter. Our minds are often filled with racing thoughts, worries, and distractions that make it difficult to focus. To quiet the mind and create space for clarity, try journaling, practicing deep breathing exercises, or using meditation apps that guide you through calming practices. These techniques help to clear your mental space, allowing you to direct your attention fully toward the task at hand. Creating a positive mental environment also involves setting boundaries around your time and energy. Protecting your time from distractions and setting clear goals allows you to stay focused and aligned with your priorities. Whether it's saying no to requests that don't serve your goals or setting specific time blocks for focused work, boundaries help to create a mental space that fosters concentration and productivity. Ultimately, the environment you create for yourself, both physically and mentally, has a profound impact on your ability to focus. By optimizing your physical space, managing your mental clutter, and cultivating a positive mindset, you create the conditions for sustained focus and success. The more you invest in creating an environment that supports your goals, the more your ability to stay focused, productive, and aligned with your purpose will grow. Creating a supportive community and rituals while your physical and mental environment are crucial for focus. The people around you and the routines you cultivate are just as important. The community you engage with and the rituals you practice can either support your focus or create additional distractions. To truly cultivate an environment that fosters focus and productivity, you must surround yourself with the right people and establish daily rituals that keep you aligned with your purpose. The power of supportive relationships. One of the most significant factors in your ability to stay focused is the community you build around you. The people in your life can either inspire you or drain you. They can be sources of support, motivation, and accountability, or they can create noise and chaos that distract you from your goals. To cultivate a productive environment for focus, it's essential to surround yourself with people who align with your values and support your vision. Seek out relationships that encourage your personal growth, challenge you to be better, and provide you with the encouragement to keep going, especially during tough times. A supportive community can be a powerful motivator, helping you stay on track and hold yourself accountable to your goals. On the other hand, relationships that are draining, toxic, or unsupportive can have the opposite effect. These relationships pull your attention away from your focus and create unnecessary mental and emotional clutter. If there are people in your life who consistently hinder your progress, it may be time to reevaluate those connections. Remember, you have the power to choose who you spend your time with. Surround yourself with those who uplift you, challenge you, and push you to grow. You don't have to navigate your journey alone. Seek out mentors, friends, or colleagues who can provide guidance, wisdom, and perspective. Building a supportive network allows you to share ideas, ask for advice, and gain insight that can help you stay focused and motivated. A strong community can provide the encouragement and accountability you need to stay aligned with your goals and overcome obstacles along the way. The role of rituals in maintaining focus. In addition to a supportive community, cultivating rituals and routines is another essential aspect of creating an environment for focus. Rituals provide structure, creating a sense of discipline and predictability in your day. When you establish positive rituals, you begin to condition your mind and body to focus at specific times and in specific ways, making it easier to get into a state of flow and concentration. For example, if you're trying to build a habit of focused work, set aside specific times each day to dedicate to your most important tasks. During these times, eliminate all distractions and commit to working with full attention on your goal. Over time, this ritual of focused work becomes ingrained in your routine, and it becomes easier to slip into a productive, focused state when it's time to work. Another powerful ritual for maintaining focus is morning preparation. How you start your day sets the tone for everything that follows. Begin your day with a routine that supports your goals, whether it's meditation, a morning walk, journaling, or reviewing your to-do list. These rituals ground you in purpose and help you begin the day with intention. By setting the right tone in the morning, you create a mental and emotional foundation for focused work throughout the rest of the day. Creating time for reflection is also an important ritual. At the end of each day or week, take time to review your progress, reflect on what worked, and adjust your approach where necessary. Reflection helps you stay aligned with your goals, adjust your course when needed, and celebrate the wins, no matter how small. It also allows you to assess what distractions may have hindered your focus and identify ways to avoid them in the future. When you integrate these rituals into your daily routine, you not only set yourself up for success, but you also make focus a habitual part of your life. The consistency of these rituals reinforces your commitment to your goals and makes it easier to stay on track, even when the distractions of life arise. Creating an environment of focus through small changes. Sometimes the smallest changes in your environment can have the biggest impact on your ability to stay focused. These changes don't have to be drastic or time-consuming. Even small adjustments can create an environment that supports clarity and productivity. One simple change is to designate a specific space for work or focus. Whether it's a corner of your home, a designated desk, or a specific room, having a space that is dedicated to your work helps signal to your brain that it's time to focus. When you enter that space, your mind shifts into work mode, making it easier to get into a focused state. Conversely, avoid working or engaging in focus-driven tasks in spaces that are associated with relaxation or distractions, such as the couch or the bedroom. Another small but impactful change is organizing your physical and digital space. Keeping your workspace tidy and organized helps create a sense of calm, allowing you to focus on the task at hand without feeling overwhelmed by clutter. Similarly, organizing your digital environment, closing unnecessary tabs, turning off notifications, and organizing files can help prevent digital distractions that take away from your focus. Small environmental changes can also be related to your health and well-being. Ensure that you're eating foods that nourish your body and mind, getting regular exercise, and maintaining a consistent sleep schedule. These lifestyle habits impact your ability to focus and perform at your best. When your body feels energized and your mind is clear, you are better able to stay focused on your goals and take intentional action. Incorporating these changes into your environment doesn't require a complete overhaul of your life. Instead, it's about making intentional, thoughtful adjustments that support your ability to stay focused, be productive, and maintain clarity. The more you align your environment, both physically and mentally, with your goals, the easier it becomes to stay on track and move toward your desired outcome. Chapter 10. Staying consistent in the face of challenges. The nature of consistency. Consistency is the bedrock of long-term success. It is the force that drives you to keep moving forward, even when the path becomes difficult or unclear. When you commit to a goal, it's easy to feel motivated in the beginning. The excitement of a new project or the promise of a desired outcome fuels your efforts. However, as time passes and challenges arise, it's easy to lose that momentum and feel discouraged. Staying consistent, especially in the face of challenges, is not about avoiding obstacles. It's about building the resilience and mindset to continue moving forward despite them. Consistency is about showing up each day, no matter how you feel, and making progress, even if that progress is small. In the pursuit of any meaningful goal, obstacles will always arise. Life is filled with uncertainties, and setbacks are a natural part of the journey. Whether it's external challenges, like unforeseen circumstances or criticism from others, or internal challenges, such as self-doubt or fatigue, these obstacles can derail even the most determined person. But the difference between those who succeed and those who falter lies in their ability to stay consistent despite the challenges. Consistency doesn't mean perfection. It doesn't mean that you must take massive leaps every day or that you will never experience setbacks. Instead, it means showing up for yourself, regardless of the circumstances, and continuing to put one foot in front of the other. It is about making progress, even if it's not at the pace you initially envisioned. The key to consistency is creating a rhythm that works for you, allowing you to make steady progress even when obstacles arise. This rhythm involves aligning your actions with your core values and purpose, so that when you encounter challenges, you can tap into your deeper motivations to keep going. Consistency also requires patience. It's easy to become discouraged when results aren't immediately visible. In a world that demands instant gratification, we often expect fast results. But true growth takes time, and staying consistent means understanding that the journey is just as important as the destination. Patience is necessary for consistency because it helps you stay focused on the process, rather than becoming fixated on immediate outcomes. One of the ways to stay consistent is to remind yourself of why you started. When the challenges begin to feel overwhelming, reconnecting with your why can reignite your motivation and help you push through the tough moments. Ask yourself, why is this goal important to me? What will it bring to my life once achieved? This deep connection to your purpose serves as an anchor, helping you stay grounded and focused when external challenges threaten to pull you off course. Another powerful tool for maintaining consistency is breaking down your larger goal into smaller, more manageable steps. Large goals can often feel overwhelming, especially when obstacles arise. But by breaking them down into smaller, actionable tasks, you create a roadmap that allows you to stay consistent, even when the road ahead seems uncertain. These smaller steps also provide regular opportunities for you to check in on your progress, boosting your sense of accomplishment and helping you stay motivated. It's also important to cultivate a growth mindset. A growth mindset is the belief that your abilities and intelligence can be developed over time through hard work, perseverance, and learning. When you adopt a growth mindset, challenges are seen as opportunities for growth, not as insurmountable obstacles. This mindset shifts your perspective, allowing you to embrace setbacks and failures as part of the process. rather than seeing them as reasons to give up. By viewing challenges through the lens of growth, you are more likely to stay consistent and keep moving forward. In addition to a growth mindset, building a system of accountability can help you stay consistent. When you have someone to check in with, whether it's a mentor, coach, or friend, you create a sense of responsibility that keeps you on track. Knowing that someone else is aware of your progress can be a powerful motivator to keep going, especially on days when you feel like giving up. Accountability provides an extra layer of support and encouragement, making it easier to stay consistent in the face of challenges. Consistency is also about discipline. Discipline is the ability to stay focused on your goals, even when distractions arise or when you don't feel like putting in the effort. It's about making decisions in line with your goals, even when those decisions are not the easiest or most comfortable. Discipline is not about perfection. It's about doing what needs to be done, even on the days when motivation is low. By developing discipline, you build the strength to stay consistent, no matter what obstacles come your way. Building resilience and overcoming setbacks. The path to success is rarely linear. It is often filled with twists, turns, and unexpected challenges. Even the most focused individuals encounter setbacks along the way. What separates those who succeed from those who falter is their ability to stay consistent, even in the face of adversity. It is in the moments of difficulty that your true character is built. Resilience, the ability to bounce back from setbacks, is what allows you to continue on your path when obstacles arise. Resilience is not about avoiding challenges. It's about facing them head-on and using them as stepping stones to greater success. When you encounter setbacks, you can either let them stop you, or you can choose to learn from them and keep moving forward. The key to building resilience is in how you respond to challenges. Do you see them as roadblocks or as opportunities for growth? One of the first steps in building resilience is accepting that setbacks are a natural part of the journey. No one achieves success without encountering difficulties. Challenges, failures, and mistakes are not signs of defeat. They are a part of the process. When you embrace this truth, you stop seeing setbacks as personal failures and begin to view them as opportunities to learn, adapt, and improve. Each setback offers valuable lessons that can help you grow stronger and more capable. A key part of developing resilience is learning to maintain a positive mindset, even in the face of adversity. It is easy to become discouraged when things don't go according to plan. However, a positive mindset allows you to approach setbacks with a sense of optimism and possibility. Rather than focusing on the negative aspects of a situation, you focus on what can be learned from it and how it can propel you forward. In moments of difficulty, it is helpful to remind yourself of your why. Why did you start on this journey? What is your ultimate goal? Reconnecting with your deeper purpose can reignite your passion and drive, helping you push through the tough times. When you remember why you are doing something, you find the strength to keep going, no matter how challenging the journey may seem. Another important aspect of resilience is flexibility. Life is unpredictable, and things don't always go as planned. If you're too rigid in your approach, you may become discouraged. When things don't unfold exactly as you envisioned, flexibility allows you to adjust your course when necessary, without losing sight of your ultimate goal. It's about being open to change, adapting to new circumstances, and finding creative solutions to problems that arise. Flexibility enables you to stay consistent with your efforts, even when the path forward is unclear. Part of building resilience is learning to manage your emotions. Setbacks can trigger frustration, disappointment, or self-doubt. These emotions, while natural, can hinder your ability to move forward if you let them take over. Emotional regulation is crucial for maintaining focus and staying consistent. When you encounter a setback, allow yourself to feel the emotions that arise, but don't let them control your actions. Take a step back, breathe, and then focus on what you can do next. Managing your emotions allows you to stay calm, centered, and clear-headed, which is essential for making decisions and taking effective action. Another key to resilience is self-compassion. Often, when setbacks occur, we are quick to blame ourselves or feel like we're not good enough. But self-compassion is the practice of treating yourself with kindness, especially in difficult times. Instead of criticizing yourself, offer words of encouragement and understanding. Be gentle with yourself when things don't go as planned. Recognize that mistakes are part of the learning process and that you are doing the best you can. Self-compassion helps you stay grounded and focused. rather than being consumed by negative emotions or self-criticism. One of the most important tools for staying consistent in the face of challenges is having a support system. Resilience does not mean doing everything on your own. In fact, having people to lean on can make all the difference when you're facing obstacles. Surround yourself with people who understand your goals, support your vision, and offer encouragement when you need it most. A strong support system can provide emotional support, practical advice, and motivation to keep going, even when things seem tough. It's also important to celebrate small wins along the way. In the pursuit of a long-term goal, it's easy to focus only on the end result and overlook the progress you've made. However, celebrating small victories helps you stay motivated and reminds you that you are moving in the right direction. Take time to acknowledge and celebrate your efforts, even if they seem small. Each step forward is a sign of progress, and each success, no matter how small, reinforces your resilience and commitment to your goals. Finally, remember that consistency doesn't mean perfection. There will be days when you feel discouraged, when you want to quit, or when things don't go as planned. This is normal. What matters is that you continue to show up for yourself, day after day, even in the face of setbacks. Consistency is about building momentum, about showing up even when you don't feel like it, and about trusting that your efforts will pay off in the end. Resilience is built through practice. The more you face challenges and continue to move forward, the stronger your resilience becomes. Each setback is an opportunity to learn, adapt, and grow. The more you practice resilience, the easier it becomes to stay consistent, no matter what obstacles arise. By cultivating resilience, you give yourself the strength and determination to keep going, no matter how difficult the journey may seem.